Well, I hope I brought enough tripods. What's up, guys? Welcome to a perfect winter. It was 70 degrees like 10 minutes ago, and now the sun just went down, and now it's like 50 degrees, and it'll probably get down to close to freezing tonight. But anyways, welcome to a perfect winter astro episode. So this episode's sponsored by Dwarf Labs. We're out here with the Dwarf Labs 3, so massive shout out to them for supporting the channel, especially during my surgery time. This is what's kind of been keeping me going while I've been recovering from my last surgery. If you know, you know. And we're going to talk about this thing. We're going to talk about, this isn't going to be a review. Obviously, this is a paid episode, so this is not going to be a review. But this is, I want to show you how I've been using this, why I've been using this, and show you what I can do with this, and hopefully give you some ideas of what you can do with this. So we're going to get set up here. I'm going to get some time lapses going of this beautiful day to night stuff. And then I'm going to get this set up and we'll walk you through the app and stuff like that as I'm doing it and see what we get out here tonight. All right, so it's dark now. We're getting set up. The first thing I'm going to show you real quick is that I love about this thing is that the polar alignment is way easier than like any star tracker ever. So let me go ahead and screen record. Okay, so first thing I want to do is get this connected. It's going to go through Wi-Fi. Another thing that I like about this that my C-Star couldn't do is I like that this will connect to my phone to the Dwarf Lab through Wi-Fi, but only if you turn the Dwarf Lab on first. But then it will also allow you, while it's connected to Wi-Fi, it will allow you to use your 4G or 5G for like regular internet stuff, which I couldn't do on my other one, and I really appreciate about that for this. All right, so it's found it. So now we're just going to connect real quick. Connection success. All right, so we're in. Like I said, I'm not going to do a full tutorial on this. I just want to show you some of the important features and how I'm using it. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to go in here to the live, and they just changed their whole menu thingy with a firmware update. Okay, so now I gotta rotate this. So I'm gonna go into EQ mode and set up EQ mode. So this tells me exactly what I need to do, and all I need to do is find the North Star and basically point this thing towards it. Okay, so I've gotten pretty good at eyeballing this. I need to put my phone down for a second. Okay. So once you get it where you think it's good, we're going to hit next, and it's going to tell you how good it is. All right, check this out. So we've got excellent alignment achieved. So that's my excellent badge for the night. I'll take it. All right, so we're ready. Now what we want to do, unfortunately, the target that I want is not up yet. I want to shoot Orion tonight, but it's behind me and it's just at the horizon right now. So over the next hour, it's going to come up. But until then, let's go find something else, shall we? So another thing, like I said, is, let's show you this real quick. The auto parameter, this will deal with the exposures, but it will only let it go to 15-second exposures. And that's just to protect itself from field rotation. So if we take this off, when you're in auto parameter too, so the other thing I like about this is this has a dual band filter and an astro filter. When you're in auto, it will decide based on the target that you're picking if it needs that or not. And if you don't know what those are, then start in auto and then go look up what duo band. So we're going to come down here and we're going to click on, we took it off auto, we're going to click on filter, and then we're going to go ahead and click duo band. So that's going to put that on. So then I can do this quick apply, and I can click 30 seconds, 60, 4K. That's the one that I want. So that's cool. And now that's got my shutter speed at 30, my gain at 60. That's what I want. If you want to do a set number, you can come down here to count and put that in, but I'm just going to leave it at 999, and I'm just going to let it go for as long as I feel like. Okay, so let's go in here to Atlas, and then we're going to go to search. So if you go to search, you'll see this will give you the recommended, which is cool, and it will tell you, okay, we can go for the Pleiades, and right now the Pleiades is at 32 degrees, so that's, you don't want anything that's too close to the ground. You want the higher the better, so you want something that's nice and high. So Pleiades is cool. Triangulum Galaxy is at 62 degrees, that's proper. Andromeda Galaxy is even more proper, that's 71 degrees, that's like up there, and that's over. Andromeda is right there. There's Cassiopeia. So you can find, all right, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. I get nerded out over the sky. There we go. So now what you're seeing is the orientation of Andromeda versus the orientation of what this can rotate to. If we scroll up on here, this will show you what this is going to do over the night. So over the rest of the night, this is at 72 degrees, so it's going to go a little bit higher. It's going to peak, and then it's going to drop. So we have a long time to shoot for this. And it gives you all kinds of good stuff here, all the data on Andromeda. So you can, this will help you determine if this is something you want to be able to shoot and how long you can leave it out for at night. All right, so we're going to hit OK, and we're going to let this thing find it. It's going to find Andromeda, and then it's going to calibrate, and then it's going to focus. All right, calibration success. Okay, so we got it going. So this popped up, and it's just giving you some info here about letting you know how long it's going to take. And then it's saying make sure you have enough power, all this thing, check this stuff. So we're good. So this is going to show you, it's going to live stack it for you. So we'll be able to see this. This is the first shot, and you can see Andromeda right in here going from top left to bottom right, going from, and as it takes more pictures, it's going to stack it. You're going to see it live time stacking, and that's really cool. That's one of the things I love about these smart scopes, is being able to like watch the images stack in live view in real time. So this is the part normally where I would be like at home in my driveway, and then I would get this going and then go play some Oblivion Remastered or something while this is going, or watch a movie, or I think we'll go get in the tent, just pop the tent, the rooftop tent, and put a heater on and just let it go. And then we'll go back in the studio and I'll show you what some of the edits look like, and we'll talk about some of that process. You can also do darks with this now. There is a way to do your dark shots if you need to do that, and flats, but I'm not going to do that for this. I should have also mentioned that I put the duo band on because I was anticipating doing Orion. I'm going to leave it on. It doesn't matter, but for Andromeda, the duo band, you don't need it. Just go in a regular or astro for the filters, but you don't need a filter for Andromeda because it's not emitting anything in those wavelengths. So for anyone who wants to call me out in the comments, feel free. All right, so we're at 10, and now we're starting to be able to see some spiral there in the center, and that looks really cool. As this goes on, it's going to just get brighter and brighter. Andromeda is definitely the closest and brightest galaxy that you could do. So if you want an easy, really pretty target that's like quite large and quite emissive, Andromeda is definitely your jam. The other best one for nebula is going to be Orion. So we're going to let this roll for a little bit, and then I'm going to get this set up on Orion, hopefully, in just a little bit. And then we'll see you back in the studio, and I'll show you some edits and some other cool stuff. All right, so back in the studio, I had a chance to look at the images. So here's 3 of the images that I've got over the past couple months of good astro nights, clear nights. We've got Orion, we've got the North American Nebula, and we've got Andromeda. So this shot of Orion, we'll start with that since this is the one that we just did last night. This was the shortest amount of time on target that I had out of these 3 images. So this was just a little bit over an hour and a half. I think it was like an hour and 38 minutes. So this definitely isn't the best shot of Orion that I've ever gotten. However, I will say that for the time, an hour and a half, this is probably the best shot I've ever gotten for that time on target. So the next one is the North American Nebula. This nebula, it looks bigger than Orion, but it's like not as bright in our sky. So it takes a little longer to get good data for. So this one was a little over 4.5 hours. I think this was like 4.65 hours or something like that. And you can see though that this is a physically bigger nebula, at least in terms of its relative size to us and my focal length. It would have actually been cool to do this one a little tiny bit wider. And that's where something like the mosaic feature would come into play, so that you can take different sections, like this, and then put those all together and get a big mosaic for an effective wider field of view of any target. But the focal length for the Dwarf 3 was just right, at least to get most of it in here, and I was pretty happy with that. At least enough that you can see that it is the North American Nebula. And 4 hours on target out here. This was also from my driveway, which I do live in a small mountain town, and I'm in like Bortle 4, Bortle 5 skies, like even within my own town. And then if you go out like 15 minutes away, that's where the Bortle 2 skies are. That's where I got the Orion shot. And so for being in Bortle 4, Bortle 5, and then having the use of the dual band filters to really help cut through the light pollution, like that's a big deal. And I really appreciate that they're built in, and it's super easy to deal with that. All right, so the next one is Andromeda. And Andromeda, like I said when I was out there the other night, that you don't need any filters for Andromeda because it's just a galaxy, and for most galaxies you don't need any sort of special filters to get any sort of like emissive wavelengths or anything like that. So this came out pretty nice. This was also right about 4 hours, so a decent amount of time on target. In an ideal world, if I was doing this for myself or whatever, like just to get better, I would prefer to have like 8 to 12 hours on all 3 of these targets, and that would really be putting you into a good amount of time on target for what all 3 of these have to offer. But the cool thing about like the smart scope and stuff like this is, in astrophotography in general, you don't need a smart scope to do this, but the cool thing about astrophotography is that you can just save these, and I could go out again another night, do another couple of hours, go out again another couple of nights, do another couple of hours, and then stack all of those for a total time of, after like 4 nights, if I do 2 hours each night. And then something like the Dwarf 3, it makes it super easy to the way that it saves all your files and stuff like that. It makes it super easy to find and categorize and go in there and add multiple nights and stuff like that. Another cool thing that I didn't show, but I'm glad it's there because I usually use my computer, but the Dwarf 3, in their app, they have an editing program. So if you don't know anything about editing Astro and all that stuff, like it'll stack it for you, and then it'll give you an editable file, and then you can go in there and make some edits with the program and just make it a little bit better. And that's a really great starting point for just dipping your toes into the editing Astro world. And the fact that you could do it all on your phone or your tablet or whatever, that's really cool. The other cool thing is that, like, I showed you how it live stacked. And then when it's done, it will give you a stacked and edited JPEG that it just kicks out for you. So if you don't want to do any editing at all, and you just want to see the final version and like share it or whatever, like that's there for you. And I think that's really cool. That'll also just give you a good idea of what it's going to look like. That edited version that the scope is going to kick out for you and just give you as soon as it's done, that's never going to be as good as like editing yourself, whether it's through the Dwarf app or through on your computer or whatever. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to get into this, like start thinking about how you can edit and what kind of learning you might have to do. One of my favorite things about astro in general and about doing this kind of stuff is like the kind of excitement that you get when you first start learning how to stretch your images and bringing those details out. It just kind of makes you get really excited when you see that, like, and you're bringing it to life yourself, and it's not something that just was kicked out and edited through, an automatic process or something. All right, so that's kind of a basic idea of what I've been able to do with this so far. I've been really happy to have this thing. One of the best things about this is just how small and light and the form factor that it's in. Like, it's just super easy to carry and pack away and just keep in your car or whatever. It's so easy to set this up next to anything else that I might be doing, or if I'm just camping or whatever, and because I'm there for wildlife or landscape or whatever. What's great is I can just take this out at night and get it going within a matter of minutes, and then just let it go all night and go to sleep, and then wake up in the morning and pack it up and come home and play with the images. And then one last thing, I can't stress this enough, but the fact that this has the dual band filters built into it, it makes it so great for, like, a lot of people think that there's a massive barrier to entry for astrophotography, not just for gear, like I have to have all these things, but also for light. And while that is true, like, you're always going to get better images if you can get to darker skies. When you have the right filters, it definitely makes it possible to get out even just in your driveway, even if you live in a big city, because this thing will see things that your eye can't. And with the filters, and it will be able to filter out some of that light. It just makes it really exciting to, like, be able to get into this for just a few $100 and, like, go straight from zero to something crazy that you never thought you could see, even in your own driveway. And when it comes down to it, that's what I'm all about. Anything that can get people interested in astronomy, astrophotography, that kind of thing, and anything that makes it easy for people to do that and lowers that barrier to entry, I'm just all about it. And then eventually too, it's like a gateway drug. If you get into this proper, you're gonna get addicted to, especially like the editing part. Like, it's really frustrating at first because there's a lot of, even if you do photography, even if you have been a photographer for a long time, if you've never done astro or never edited astro, it's very, very different. So that part of editing, it can be frustrating. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more you get addicted to, like, just bringing those details out from a night sky. Like, that's just the most incredible thing to me. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's chai time. If you have any questions about anything that you want to know about this thing that I didn't go over, let me know down below. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check this thing out. And again, one last massive shout out to Dwarf Labs for helping keep the channel running, supporting me, especially during my downtime the past couple of months where I haven't been able to work 100%. The monetary support is amazing, but not only that, like, just having something like this and keeping my creativity going while I've been down and out, that's been a huge help, and it's just been keeping me excited for clear nights. All right, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.